President Trump not backing down from his push to take over Greenland, citing security concerns and criticizing Denmark's inability to protect the Arctic territory. The president posting on Truth Social last night, NATO has been telling Denmark for 20 years that you have to get the Russian threat away from Greenland.
We've been telling y'all.
Unfortunately, Denmark has been unable to do anything about it. Now it is time, and it will be done. Joining me now is former NSC Chief of Staff under President Trump, Alex Gray. Alex, good morning. Great to see you. So the president is, of course, dead set on acquiring Greenland and even announcing tariffs on European countries. And those European countries are dead set against this, and they're going to be holding this emergency summit today over what the heck to do. So what happens next?
Well, thanks for having me, Carly. I think our European friends really need to step back from this performative domestic politics that they're engaged in and realize that this is about a core interest of the United States. Greenland's a part of the Western Hemisphere. It's been under threat by...
You hear that? That's about U.S. interests. He's saying Europe need to grow up and give America their way. And I don't really blame him in this situation. America always been there for Europe throughout the past. At least they get to his hand that's a little piece of land or something, like, you know what I mean? Especially if y'all ain't been doing nothing with it. America gonna do something with it. We're gonna put some casinos up there. There's gonna be some spas and resorts up there. Some ski resorts and all that, man.
Chinese and Russian aggressive activity over the last, as the president said, several decades. Our friends in Denmark haven't done anything about it.
Nope.
And the president was actually on the path last week with this meeting that Vice President Vance chaired to have a really successful path forward where we were talking directly to our Greenlandic friends and our Danish allies about a path forward for the United States to have more ultimate control over Greenland. And then the Europeans decided to showboat, send in this absurd contingent of troops to act like they were going to stop some sort of crazy American invasion. As you know, Carly, we have unlimited access militarily to Greenland as it is. There's nothing to invade. The question here is, how do we protect the future of Greenland from a Chinese or Russian long-term, some sort of long-term Chinese or Russian influence operation? This is a very, very silly thing the Europeans are doing, and I hope they'll back down before they damage the relationship further.
Well, Alex, on that contingent of troops, plus you mentioned Russia and China, Senator Tom Tillis, who's a Republican but has become a critic of President Trump, posted this on X saying this response to our own allies for sending a small number of troops to Greenland for training is bad for America, bad for American businesses, and bad for America's allies. It's great for Putin, Xi, and other adversaries who want to see NATO develop.
Now, I was thinking about that, too. I know Russia looking at chops right now with China. They got the West pointing guns at each other. They're about to do it. They're about to do it, y'all. They're in the Kremlin like, do them.
The fact that a small handful of advisors are actively pushing for coercive action to seize territory of an ally is beyond stupid. It hurts the legacy of President Trump and undercuts all the work he has done to strengthen the NATO alliance over the years. So what's your response to the senator there, in particular him saying that dividing NATO is great for Russia and China?
Well, I couldn't disagree more with the way the senator phrased that. I think that the only people dividing NATO, and by the way, Carly, the person who saved NATO is Donald J. Trump. That was an alliance that was headed towards complete disintegration because no one was paying anything for defense until President Trump stepped in and forced the alliance to finally be relevant again. And now the Europeans, for these kind of performative domestic reasons, are sending troops, I think, to show their own people that they have some sort of role on the world stage. That's dividing NATO. That is doing immense damage to our ability to stand steadfast against China and Russia. President Trump is moving us toward a long-term solution where Greenland can be a closer part of the United States for our security and for the security of NATO.
Okay, so moving over to Iran, the Supreme Leader out with some new comments this weekend, calling President Trump a criminal and blaming him for the brutal takedown of protesters. I mean, it's hard to believe that that's their line of defense, but...
Yo, one thing I can say about Iran leader, he just be talking, bro. Don't be really doing nothing. And I know Trump be talking, but that dude just be yapping. Like, he judge everybody but himself.
President Trump did respond to the Supreme Leader's comments, saying, It's time to look for new leadership in Iran. What he, the supreme leader, is guilty of as a leader of a country is the complete destruction of the country and the use of violence at levels never seen before. The leadership should focus on running his country properly, like I do with the United States, and not killing people by the thousands in order to keep control. So the president does have military assets going to the Middle East. It's going to take about a week for them to get in place. Is it only a matter of time until strikes happen? And if so, could the target be the Ayatollah?
I ain't gonna lie.
Well, it's certainly an absurd statement by the Ayatollah. I think what the president's doing is he's giving himself options, right? He's restoring deterrence, and we've seen that whether it's in Caracas, whether it's in Syria, whether it's in all over the world. The president's been restoring America's credibility. The fact that
and that's the thing about Greenland. That's why he mad over it, because he got to get his way. He been getting his way with every other theater of war, with every other theater of resource around the world. Why not Greenland? He gonna stick to it because it's gonna be a part of his legacy, a positive one that he want to leave behind. He want to leave a positive one behind.
We're willing to use force strategically, surgically, and carefully. That puts the Ayatollah and his minions on notice. But more importantly, the president's preserving the ambiguity that he needs in this situation. The president loves the fact that you never know what he's going to do. Our adversaries never know if the president's willing to use force. They know he's willing to use force, but they never know if he's going to use it in a specific situation. And I think
I like that about Trump, though. I can say he's probably the first president that you can't get into the mind of and know what he's going to do, because he already had money. If you ask me, that's what we already got money. We already got money. You don't know what I'm going to do when they get power.
I think the Ayatollah is very much taking that into account when he's figuring out his next move. He knows President Trump is not going to allow him the freedom of action that, let's say, a Joe Biden or a Barack Obama did.
Well, Iran's judiciary has recently indicated that executions may go ahead, and if they do take place, that will...
man, so what if they execute, man? It's their country. As long as they ain't execute nobody outside of it. But yeah, man, that's the real reason he mad about Greenland, man. Don't get in his way. He don't want to look like no failure. I'm going to read through some of these comments at the bottom. The ones that got the most posts, most likes. It says, one comment said, wow, I didn't get the Nobel Peace Prize and I have to invade Greenland. What? Must be a dumb. These news reporters must be a dumb too. The C word. They can honestly believe what they're saying. I feel sorry for them. Watching from Ireland. What kind of ridiculous news channel is this? I think I was wrong about Trump. He undoubtedly is acting like a child right now. If we have unlimited military access to Greenland, why do we need to own it? Russian levels of mental gymnastics. I understand the first part, the second part's crazy. Where are the Russians and the Chinese ships? Yeah, that's true. I ain't see no pictures of no Russian, no Chinese ships. They show pictures all other times, you know? So, man, this was the people that we put in charge of saying, right? We voted them in now. Now we want to question them. But, you know, let me know what you think, man. Get in my comment box. Follow me. Make sure you subscribe. Let me know, is Trump really going mad about Greenland, or is this just a play while everything else is in delay, while you doing something else, you know? Help me, man. Make sure you follow me. I'm trying to get these followers up. New, trying to be more consistent. Track files, just speaking facts. Big Head Reese. Call it what you want. Let me know how you think the video went. I'm out.